working against us. They hate our souls. They hate us. They hate our righteous indignation. They hate the exhortation that dwells in us. They hate our love for the They hate our conviction. They hate the fact that we repentant. They hate the fact that we truthful, honest, and bold. They hate our courage. Them devils hate us. We're not finna line ourselves up with these weirdos and freaks, with these weirdos and freaks. They working against us. They hate our souls. Weirdos and freaks. But these weirdos and freaks, they working against us. They hate our souls. Nubreed.
Ephesians 6:10. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith ye shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked, and take the helmet of salvation, and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Undoubtedly, the one you call Jesus Christ was a black man. He was melanated. He had hair like wool. He had a deep voice. He was dark-skinned. He wasn't only just a black man. He was a dark-skinned man. He wasn't brown. He wasn't light-skinned. No, Christ was dark. We're talking about Wesley Snipes, dark. So let's make that clear. That's how he's described biblically. I don't know who this character is that they put up, but clearly the Most High God ain't happy with it. What my man Sizzler say? We serve no white God. I'm sorry, he's not white. Christians, I know that you have a hard time accepting this. You have a hard time understanding that Christ is the same image as your sons, as your uncles, as your father, as your grandfather, as the man that you dealt with. Yeah, he came in that same image. His lineage and bloodline is of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He comes through the lineage of David. He was a black man, all right? There's no doubt about it. In some extra biblical text, on record, on file, it even goes into race attributing to his crucifixion. because of the things he was bringing to the world. They even say his race contributed to his crucifixion. Now, let's make that clear. And if you have a problem with that, if you have an issue with that, so be it. But make this clear. Regardless of what your nationality is, your color, kindred, or creed, if you choose not to remember Christ as the scriptures have said, that's on you. You have to take that up with the Lord. But you see how the Lord is dealing with false idols.
Are you children of Israel? We are the biblical Israelites. Let's shine our light on this entire world and let them know that we're not standing for these 2/3 and their evil intentions for us. And we're not falling for the tricks and the charades. It's time that we rise up, honor the law, statutes, and commandments written up in that Bible, and stay on the right direction.
What's good, everybody? It's your brother Nubreed coming through with another live stream. What's going on with everybody? I see Kima Queen is in the building. Hey, Common Sense is in the building. Kim C. Yes, Robbie Knowledge in the house. Q Brown's in the house. Wanda Austin's in the building. How y'all doing, man? France G, what's happening, bro? I see y'all. I see y'all are rolling in pretty quick. Q Brown's in the building. Look, do me a solid, ladies and gentlemen, and hit that like button on your way in. We have a very interesting broadcast. You know, it's going to be rather informative as well. And y'all know how we do, man. We bring out a lot of very pivotal information, right? Okay. I see y'all. Listen, I want to lend some words of advice. When it comes to this whole Charlie Kirk thing that's going on all over social media, it's spilling over to a lot of people's real life. And ladies and gentlemen, you got to be wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove out here. See, they have politicized that entire event, and it's costing people their jobs. And one rule you're supposed to know is you never talk politics at work. Two things you don't discuss at work, at your workplace, is politics or religion. So if you out there and people asking you certain questions about what you think, and you leaning more on the side of what is historically accurate, or if it's whatever you think, right? Just ignore them. You there to do a job. You there to clock in, clock out, make ends meet, do what it is you need to do, right? We got to keep that in mind, right? So be very careful out there. Anything you will say will be used against you. All right. So I just wanted to drop those words of knowledge, those words of wisdom, and I hope that helps you out. Yeah, just don't say nothing, man. It's really none of these people's business what you think, because they'll ask you, hey, what do you think about this Charlie Kirk thing? Listen, they fishing for information that's none of their business. All right. Keep it to yourself. Right. And then when you go home, watch my videos so you can speak what you want to speak right there in the comment section. All right. Now, man, we got some things that we got to discuss. The topic of this evening is conservatives. Now, when you hear that terminology, you think of what's going on politically, you know, between the right wing and the left wing. The right wing would be considered conservative. Well, I'm here to say that a lot of what you see coming from the right isn't conservatism at all. They hide under that banner and moniker. They hide even behind the Bible at times. You know, these Southern Baptists, white Christians, a lot of the times hide behind that whole cloak and moniker. But really, ladies and gentlemen, they're far from that. See, the original conservatives is followers of Christ. That's the original conservatives. Those who have culture, rule, law, and commandments that govern them. Those are the real conservatives. We had a culture. We had rules and regulations. We had a nation. We had order. And that's what we need to understand. Now, man, we got some things to get into today. Somebody said silence is a weapon. Absolutely. You got to be silent with a lot of these people. Now, I want to share with you all what's going on with these so-called conservatives. Now, for the record, I'm not here to be some type of Wendy Williams or anything like that. Everything that I'm about to share with you all is for educational purposes, right? Because people such as this guy right here, Myron Gaines, positions himself as some type of moral authority. And some of the things that I've discovered about this individual, I would say that he's not qualified to be that. I would say he's not qualified. Now, we're going to get into it. We're going to get into it, ladies and gentlemen. It's not just him, but it's Nick Fuentes. We got to talk a little bit about Caitlyn Jenner. And again, what y'all going to get from this is going to be purely educational, because you got to understand the hypocrisy. And the hypocrisy doesn't just come from this level here of what these individuals may be doing behind closed doors, right? The hypocrisy is in every facet of their existence. And we got to point it out, right? Oh, yeah, we got to point it out. We got to call it out, y'all. But y'all got to get the likes up. Y'all must get the likes up on the video. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. So we're talking about Nick Fuentes. No, actually, right now we're talking about Myron Gaines. And I want to go to this person's breakdown here, and I'll chime in.
Gentlemen, Fidel Amaru Fidel. That may not be how you pronounce his name, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it today, okay? So Amaru Fidel, a.k.a. Myron Gaines, finally addressed the rumors behind this picture, and it was all lies. I actually fact-checked him along with members of my chat, especially Kevin, who brought attention to the fact that he is holding hands with his zaddy who's on top of him, okay? I ain't hating, okay? But please, just come out of the closet already, okay? So let's go ahead and listen to what Mr. Amaru Fidel, a.k.a. Myron Gaines, has to say in reference to this picture. Now, mind you, I want to bring your attention to something, okay? It's bright outside. This is in the middle of the day. Here are the bushes. The curtains are wide open. You got Zaddy number one over here, booty butt ass naked, looking on his laptop. And you got this delicious gay Zaddy on top of Myron, who's on top of a stack of pillows. And now that's going to come into play later.
Now, before we even get into this, I'm going to have to ask all the fellas in the room, right? Even if you may be a fan of Myron Gaines, could we all agree in this room that men shouldn't be taking photos like this? Can we just all agree that this is not conservative? Could we all agree on that by show of ones, brothers? By show of ones, this photo alone is inappropriate. For anybody who is claiming to be a quote unquote conservative or a moral authority over anyone. By show of ones, fellas. Let me see them ones go up. All right, I see the ones coming in. All right, long as we on the same page here, long as we are all on the right page here, right? Long as we all on the right page, if we can all just agree on that. All right, let's continue.
The reason why I'm saying laying on a stack of pillows is because, well, you'll see what he has to say in reference to why this man is laying on top of his chest, holding his hands, you know, doing ebony and ivory. Okay, hold on. Let's go ahead and listen to what this lying nigga got to say.
Right? I don't play games. Goes calling reach for dancing with a girl, but Myron was in bed with dudes. Bro, see, this is the thing. You guys are clowns. I was an athlete in college, bro, and that photo that was taken, they came in and woke me up. That's how that photo was there, because, like, we're on a training trip.
Okay, they got in there and woke you up. You don't sleep in bed like this. You don't sleep in bed propped up on pillow.
Yeah, you know, hey, this is a bad look. Even this explanation not making no sense. I mean, and some people could say it's a stretch. Maybe they were just playing around. But we should all agree that this is a bad look, right? Let's continue.
Okay, also, it's bright outside. It's broad daylight. This is not early in the morning. Also, the curtains are pulled back. So normally, and could be a preference when people go to bed. They could, you know, keep the blinds wide open. But since there are bushes right here, you guys are on the first floor. And normally when you go to bed, you close the curtains because you don't want people peeking into your room. But because it's during the day, it's bright outside, you can see the sun right here. You can see your little zaddy number 1 and zaddy number 2, zaddy number 1.
And, you know, any real men should be able to agree that if these guys were playing with Myron, because that's pretty much where he's going at it with, right? That's the angle he's taking to defend himself. How many of you brothers ready to lay hands for somebody even playing like that? At the least, this is some type of humiliation ritual. At the very least. Hey, Carrot Music, thank you for the support. I appreciate it. Says, pair character jumping up and down saying number 1 fan. I'm not sure what that means. Pair character. I don't know what that means, but thank you for the support. But these are the individuals that claim to be, you know, individuals such as Myron Gaines, claim to be some type of moral authority, claim to be this conservative, strong right wing, come at everybody with condemnation, but meanwhile, this is what's going on, right?
Of course, ain't got no clothes on, and he's looking at a laptop with the curtains wide open. Also, what's with holding the hands? Kevin brought this to my attention, said, wait a minute, are they holding hands? I'm like, oh, yes, they are holding hands. Now, I don't know about you, but I never saw anyone, including myself, I never experienced somebody waking me up by holding my hand. You lying nigga, I swear. Okay, good. Let's continue this. Let's rewind this just a little bit because we want to hear the full context. And here we go.
You guys are clowns. I was an athlete in college, bro, and that photo that was taken, they came in and woke me up. That's how that photo was there, because, like, we're on a training trip. Explain this.
I mean, honestly, guys, like, use common sense, man.
Dude, they're referring to the picture where my buddy jumped in bed with me.
I know.
So, guys, we're on a training trip in Cocoa Beach, Florida. We used to get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. As you guys know, I'm not a morning guy.
Okay, this is not 4 o'clock in the morning.
That's definitely not 4 o'clock in the morning, y'all. Those are lies. See, if he's lying about that, he's lying about everything. If he's lying about getting up 4 in the morning, he's lying about all of it. That's clearly during the day. No doubt about that. You can look, sun is out. Hey, let's go.
This is not 5 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock in the morning do not look like this. Okay? if you ask me, because it's so bright outside, it's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It would not be this bright outside. Like I said, the curtains are wide open. And like I said, you can see the bushes here. And it's just really, really bright. Also, you're laying on a stack of pillows. So you've been up for a while. I don't know what you've been doing, but that's none of my business. But I caught you in that lie.
So that day, they ran into the room, surprised me, and then jumped on me there. And someone snapped a picture while I was there like this, and he was on the side to give me a hug. But we didn't sleep there, you weirdos. They came in and woke my ass up and frowned me. And this is what it's like.
We didn't sleep in there, but they woke you up. Well, which one is it, Myron? You either slept there, or
He said they woke his A up and started effing around with him. Now we wonder why Myron Gaines pushes so hard for white supremacy. You see who he's in bed with, literally. You literally see who Myron Gaines is in bed with. And we wonder why he pushes so hard for white supremacy. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to make the truth great again. We got to make the truth great again.
I'm saying, or you didn't sleep there, but you just said they woke you up, so you just admit to being sleep. You slept there. Okay, I know, unless you're thinking sleeping and sleeping are, the same thing. I don't know what. I'm not trying to get in your head, but you were not sleeping. Like I said, you're laying upright on a stack of pillows. Okay, while your zaddy, your number one over there, is on his laptop. And your main zaddy, who's your boyfriend, is on top of you holding your hands. And he is so comfortable putting his head on your chest. And he's just like, oh, this is so snuggly. But anyway, you want to sit up here and say that this is somebody waking you up. You all are fully awakened, okay? You're wide awake in this picture. But okay, let's listen some more. So rewind this a little bit more.
We didn't sleep there, you weirdos. They came in and woke my ass up and around me. This is what it's like when you were division.
You mean they you, not around with you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I need y'all to understand is there's an underworld to MAGA. When we talk about dirty MAGA, what we do have to understand is there's a lot of sexual degeneracy that goes on. Now, I want y'all to understand what even made me touch on this subject here. After the Charlie Kirk shooting, there was a situation where they claimed that the shooter, Tyler Robinson, was in a relationship with a transgender roommate. And they kept saying how the shooter was on the left, although when I pulled up the voter records, he voted nonpartisan, and he also was raised by a Republican family. So I was wondering why the media kept saying because he had this transgender roommate and had an alleged relationship with him, that put him on the left. So I started digging. I'm like, well, the way some of these people on the right act, it seemed like they also got some illegitimacy and some degeneracy and debauchery going on with them. Come to find out, start doing just a little bit of digging on the surface level. And a lot of these people claiming to be conservatives in actuality are degenerates. That's what I'm finding out. And we're going to bring all the evidence out. We just warming up, y'all. We're going to be cooking. So make sure you like the video. That's why I don't really be doing these daggone vertical streams, because it tries to ruin the real algorithm. All them fake views, I don't care about them. I rather stick to this right here with my grassroots audience, right? But I know y'all here for it, so make sure y'all like the video, get the message out as much as you can, and let's get it going.
To an athlete, but people don't have friends or buddies or
if
whatever.
you played any sports as a guy, you know how it is, bro. Your teammate's gonna mess you up, play around. It's just
Can't believe I
sports
gotta
stuff,
explain
man.
this, bro. Y'all are like literally ridiculous.
Okay.
He talking about sports stuff. No, unless you talking about the gymnasiums what the Greeks and Romans used to do. Y'all know how them Greeks and Romans did. What they would do in them gymnasiums. All of that man boy lover stuff they had going on. All that, practicing dominance on each other. You know how them Greeks and Romans did.
So he said this was during the time he was in college. Well, I just fact checked him. Let's go to his LinkedIn right here. This is Myron Gaines, okay? This is him, Simps to Pimps. And we're going to fact check him because he said he was in a Division I. He was not in no damn Division I, nothing, okay? So let's look right here under education and look at 2009 to 2013. So you graduated from Northeastern University in 2013. Well, let's see when this picture was taken, huh? Shall we?
Got him in another lie. See, if he's lying about, that's 2 lies that Myron just got caught in. If he's lying about the time it happened, meaning the time of his life, the era of his life it happened, and he's lying about the time of day that this picture was taken, he's hiding something, y'all. Myron is hiding something. Let's continue.
We go see when this picture was taken. It's look at there, February 2014. But see, here's the thing. Let's read what, because this is the actual full.
That's true. He did have from Simps to Pimps. That's glorifying pimping. Does that sound conservative to y'all? Does soliciting women sound conservative? See, this is what I'm saying. These commentators, these pundits, they can say the worst things out their mouths. They can speak filth, do filth, be, as sexually immoral as they want to be, and then they claim conservatism. How? No, we not going for that. We have to talk about this.
Context to this picture. I know a lot of people like to take it out of context. This is what the picture looks like when you cut it out of the Instagram post by Eric. Eric is the former boyfriend. By the way, notice I'm not saying allegedly. I don't have to say stuff allegedly when it's the full truth, okay? Eric was the boyfriend of Myron, aka Amaru Fidel. And let me read to you. This was from his Instagram. Okay, so let's go to the bottom of this where it says Eric Wessel, I think that's how you pronounce. So remember, let's look at everybody in this bed. Now, remember what Myron said in this video right here. Myron said that the reason why he was in this bed.
I don't care what nobody say, Myron is Bussy Gang. And so is Nick Fuentes and a whole host of a lot of them. These nasty bastards is just unsanitary. Straight up. You can feel how you want to feel about it, but the truth is the truth, and the truth shall set you free about these weirdos.
Was because of Division I, a Division I team. First of all, you were.
Yeah, he said he was D1, all right. He said he was D1, Division I. Nah, he was just getting D. Let's not sugarcoat this. We seeing what we seeing, y'all. Our eyes don't deceive us. That man is laid up in that bed with 2 white men holding hands. But these are the guys trying to be the moral authority over black people. Oh man, the stuff that I'm going to bring out in this particular stream, y'all just wait. It's going to get real.
Degeneracy, you were on the men's rowing team, and it was not no Division One. You lying.
So he lied about that's the third lie. That's the third lie. He claimed that he was a D1 athlete. Another lie.
Nigga, I swear to God, you know I'm gonna catch you because I can't stand you. Just come out of the closet and I'll leave you alone. So here you got 3 men's. You got a reverse Oreo cookie right here. And then let's read what it says. A big happy birthday goes out to my boy, Amaru Fidel today. Leaving soon for Georgia, then Texas. I'm gonna miss my loud black buddy. Ooh. Not the loud black buddy. And honey, yes, he is loud. I told you, he yelled like a black woman. He talked like a black woman. He act like a black woman. This is why he's a homosexual. And I don't call him a homosexual to be mean, or I don't use it as slurs. I'm using it as facts. Anyway.
We still gonna say allegedly. I'm just letting her talk, right? We still gonna say allegedly. But hey, what more do we need to see here?
So this is this right here is Myron's old Instagram handle right here, Aesthetic Fidel, right? But let's look at the hashtags, please, because this is where it really gets good, okay? Hashtag pause, hashtag soon, hashtag baby come back.
No.
Baby come back.
No. Hashtag baby come back. No more allegedly. No more allegedly. Now, look, ladies and gentlemen. As I said at the beginning of this stream, this is for educational purposes to show a pattern of behavior that's coming from these so-called conservatives. Are they really conservatives? Or are they hiding something? Are they hiding something? Now, I mean, look, hashtag baby come back, that is diabolical, downright insidious. It ain't no, look, there's no way he can defend that.
Wait a minute. I don't hear about heterosexual men saying anything. Baby, come back. Please come back, baby. Hold on, but it gets more better. Here we go. Hashtag baby come back, but my favorite, hashtag forever small. So all this time I thought Myron was the top. Honey. Zaddy right here is the top. Myron is the bottom.
Now, I know this is rather disgusting. It's troubling to look at least for real conservatives. We're talking about biblical conservatives. And we know what our scriptures say. Leviticus 18:22, thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind. It is an abomination. You see that right there? That's men laying down with each other like they're laying with a woman, like they're laying with women. So how could they scream conservative and they laying up in the bed like this together? We talking about sweaty, big-ass, grown, hairy men cuddle and snuggle and nestle together in the bed. And he want to claim conservative. Performing whatever the hell rituals they was performing. Romans 1:27. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman, burnt in their lust one towards another. Men with men working that which is unseemly, and receiving in themselves that recompense of their error, which was meat. And that's what they got going on. And that's why they talk so disrespectful about women. That's why the Fresh and Fit podcast was pretty much going in on women and downgrading them and speaking to them all crazy and whatnot. Why? Because they got a hankering for each other. because these degenerates allegedly got a nasty penis fetish. Let's just call it what it is. Sick.
As he should be. But as we can see, we caught him lying. He was not in school during the time that the picture was being taken. And this was not during, as you can see, this was his birthday. And he was getting, I guess you could say, spin roasted because that was his birthday present. But see, here's the deal, Myron. Why lie about this picture? Because here's another picture of you and the same guy kissing. Now, what is this? Have y'all noticed that Myron is most happiest when he's with a man?
Yep, he's most happiest when white men are kissing him or laying in the bed with him. We don't never see Myron smiling like this. We don't never look. He got the Kool-Aid smile. He cheesing from ear to ear. Now, ladies and gentlemen, can we at least all agree that this is suspect? By show of ones in the chat, this doesn't seem very conservative. This doesn't seem like someone who should be the moral authority over people. This shouldn't be an individual who is always judging the black community, someone who physically got caught being in bed with white men. I think it's safe to say that someone like Myron Gaines doesn't have the moral authority over black people. All right, I see the ones. We all in agreement here. Because one thing about it, we will be able to just completely break down all of the popular voices coming from the right. It's easy to see who they in bed with. It's easy.
He is so happy and giddy and gay and giddy and gay and gay and gay and gay. Okay? Look at him getting to, mwah! I'm going to kiss my black buddy. Mwah! 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 Oh, so he like, yeah, my zaddy love me. Don't nobody love me like my zaddy. I mean, look at this. I'm sure there's a boner right there.
No.
I'm sure, like, you get nice and hard for your zaddy, honey. I swear. Look at you. You're just so happy. You know?
Nah, bro. Nah. Ladies and gentlemen, the way he's pressed up against this man. Yo, this is disgusting, bro. This is disgusting. But this is what Myron got going on. And he ain't the only one. So is it safe to say that Myron's on the left? Because what we're going to show in this particular broadcast is there's a bigger picture than them trying to shift blame to the left. We're going to find out that what we see going on is a society ail. And that's why I don't like, we looking at the political civil war they got going on with all this political violence, all this back and forth, all the high profile white on white crime and all of that. We put everything in the same batch as just evil and wickedness. We don't get caught up in the little caveats trying to join the political side because the system is evil. And then they put these taskmasters and these talking heads in place who are compromised. Myron Gaines is compromised. The man out here whistling as he walk. You hear me? Compromised. He just walking and whistling, walking and whistling, walking and whistling, walking and whistling. Just compromised. Just loose ankles. He walking around with loose ankles, y'all. But trying to tell black people they need to be held accountable. Nah, he's disqualified.
Look at this. Gay love is still love. I want you to understand this. Gay love is still love. Stop being ashamed of being a homosexual. We know you don't like women and you want us out of the way so you can get more of these, but dude, you don't have to, like, we can be friends. I can help you find nice men like this. You don't have to be the enemy to women. There, Amaru Fidel. And here's another picture. So apparently this relationship didn't last. So now you got this one. This came from H3 Productions. Got to give him a shout out. Don't really like Ethan Klein, but I got to give him his props over there on his Reddit. So we're
Soon as you think it's over. Is he in a concert with these people spooning another white guy? Is he not in a concert with these people spooning?
Here we have a video. Here we have a picture of a sea of men with one hag, and you got Mr. Myron hugging on a very muscular, delicious looking zaddy. Let me tell you something there, Myron. You have a very good taste in white men. Mwah! I can't take that away from you. You are good at finding them, honey, because every time I look at you hugged up with a white man, he has the body like an Adonis. So here you have a gay man on top of a gay man. You got another gay man here, and you got Myron hugged up with his new zaddy, kissing him on the back of his neck.
No. But they claim to be conservatives. What do the scriptures say? Romans 1:27. And likewise, also the men, leaving the natural use of the woman. I think, did we get that one? We're going to skip. We're going to go down to 1 Corinthians 6:9. Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of God? Be not deceived, neither fornicators, idolaters, adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers in themselves with mankind. Now we wonder why he got extreme hatred always flailing out his damn mouth. Ain't no telling how many white men that he didn't put his mouth on like that. In this picture right here. Ain't no telling. Imagine those of, man, see, I gotta be careful what I say right here, bro. Gotta be careful what I say. I don't want to, look, let me make this clear. The whole point of what I'm talking about right now is that these people cannot be the moral authority over us. Listen, they're not qualified to speak on black situations when they need to handle their own misconduct. Real conservatism is biblical law. The Bible says male and female, he created them.
I don't understand why you just won't come out. And here's another one of his boyfriends right here. And I mean, this was also available on
Look at that look on his face.
H3's Reddit account. So they got all the daggone pictures and them admitting that you are gay. I don't understand. Like, it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be gay. But nevertheless, I proved that you
And so they saying that the men in the pictures already admitted that he go that way.
lied, and I just debunked everything you said to show that I'm telling the truth and that you are lying. You don't like women, you resent us, you hate us, and you love men. And anybody who would dress like this with a big ass beak like that surely cannot be straight, okay? But once again, like I said, I'm okay with you being gay, but you're not gonna lie. And I'm so glad you addressed this picture because I just showed how you lied about it. Ladies
So there you have it. Now there's more. Yeah, it just kept getting worse. I get it. I get it, ladies and gentlemen, but we got to continue this expose. We got to continue this expose here. Matter of fact, hold on one moment. Now, he's not the only one. These people who have these platforms and these
putting on the cat ears, but all it did.
Now, some of you all seen the video early. Matter of fact, let me go back to that first. Let me go there first. Let me go there first with Nick Fuentes. Some of you all seen this earlier, but let me remind you.
Clearly taller. Yeah, everyone always talks about who's taller. So
I'm taller.
Yeah, he's clearly
taller.
Well, Nick's 7 foot, and I'm only
you're
like
walking
6'9".
You're walking on the curb right now. Can't the chat can't see, but you're walking. It's not you're walking on the curb.
Yeah, everyone always talks about who's taller. So
I'm taller.
Yeah, he's clearly
taller.
Well, Nick's 7 foot, and I'm only
you're
like
walking
6'9".
You're walking on the curb right now. Can't the chat can't see, but you're walking.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, he went on a whole date with the guy with the cat ears. Went on a whole date with him. And y'all can clearly see what's going on in this photo, right? You can clearly see that, you know, from the outside looking in, you looking at two homosexual men. Nick Fuentes now has this huge following, and he seems to be, you know, very influential with the right-wing conservatives, right? Huge influence. Now, I want you to hear him speak in regards to what we seen in that photo.
Made me want to hold them down and rape them.
Now, listen carefully.
Well, it's like I said, he thought it was funny putting on the cat ears, but all it did is made me want to hold them down and rape them. That's on you, pal. He said, oh, he was going into detail about the rape kit. Yeah, they're going to do a rape kit on you. The doctors are going to do a rape kit, and they're going to find me guilty, and I'm going to plead guilty. You're going to go to the infirmary, you're going to go to the ER, and they're going to use a rape kit on you, and they're going to do a DNA test, and they're going to match the DNA to my DNA, and then they're going to charge me with rape, and I'm going to plead guilty. I'm going to say, Your Honor, I raped him. Your Honor, I was a raper. I raped. He put on the cat ears. He was begging for it. He was asking for it. That was a clear sign that he wanted it. That was a clear sign. He shouldn't have wore that. He sent a false signal. I don't know. He did, I didn't know. I'll say I'm guilty, and then they'll throw me away. They'll lock me up, and when I get out of jail, I'm going to find him, and I'm going to rape him again. Then when I get out, then I'll be released from jail after I've served my time for the initial rape. They're going to say he's got a clean record, never been charged with the crime, etc. So they're going to give me a lenient sentence. I'll be let off for good behavior after a short time. And then I'm going to look him up. I'm going to track him down. I'm going to come over to Sweden. I'm going to come over to Stockholm. And I'm going to find his little Swedish straw hut. I'm going to rape him again. I'm going to rape him again. And we're going to relive that trauma all over again. And at that point, he's going to like it. Because he'll have been thinking about it all that time, and he'll start to have liked the idea. All that time away in jail, think about he put me in jail. He'll feel a weird guilt about it. And he'll relive the trauma, and he'll begin to sexualize the trauma. And then the next time that I go to rape him, he's going to greet me. He's going to greet me and say, finally, another rape. He's going to say, finally. He's going to say, at long last. Here's that rape that I ordered. Now we're going to get married.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Fuentes, who is supposed to be a strong right conservative. Now, you see how that word conservative can be dangerous and how they use it and cloak themselves as some type of hierarchy. when he's talking about doing the unthinkable to another man repeatedly, doing as the Greeks and the Romans do. But you got a lot of people trying to align themselves up with these people's movement because Nick Fuentes is a big part of the radical right that we see today. And you got people trying to align themselves up with these individuals. Now, we know what the Greeks and Romans did. I mean, I don't really need to tell y'all, but a brief history lesson. Nero, he was going around. It was a lot of male on male relationships. They looked at it more so as a sense of domination, them dominating another man. They did it they really didn't like women. They really hated women. And Nick, he still teaches that they just use women for pretty much procreation. But their desire is each other. That's what the Roman and Greek Empire have always done, ladies and gentlemen. They have always dealt with each other. So for them to come in the whole auspice of being the people in charge and the radical left is doing this and that. No, listen, here's the real issue. They're not even cleaning up the disparagements that they have in their community. They're not cleaning it up. They're not addressing the real issues. And all that grape talk that he just did. All that grape talk he just did. You want to know something interesting? I'm going to show y'all something here. I want you to look at the FBI data crime reports. This is where we're going to go right now. Because, I bring out the actual details, the actual facts. This ain't something that's made up. Now, I want y'all to look over to the right-hand side. And this is grape offenders versus victim demographic. Now, I want you to look who's at the top of that. Y'all see it? This is right off the FBI Data Explorer. Now, when I talk about white issues, you can see these type of things. I mean, look at it. And these are issues that they're not addressing. These are issues that they're not cleaning up in their community. But all we hear is black accountability. And this goes across the charts for a lot of crimes. Now, they will give you the per capita argument. The next place they will go is the per capita argument. Now, first and foremost, I want to say this. If you all make up most of the country, right? First and foremost, you should be a priority when it comes to correcting the issues in your community, especially if you make up most of the country. But the interesting thing that really kills the per capita argument is actual conviction rates, actual exoneration rates when it comes to our people. And we're going to go there too, because listen, when you go into the actual data, you really cannot argue with actual facts. If you do, how could you? It's the facts, right? It's the actual truth. Now, hold on. We're going to go there. We're going to go there. So when we talk about this per capita thing, so while specific data on the percentages, this is the wrong one, but this is interesting too, because when it comes down to the per capita argument, there's a couple things that come into play here. Number one is white people's access towards riches, towards wealth, which listen, they have a way higher access rate to wealth. And we'll read that too. With the 221 Pew Research Center study indicating over 70% of white and Asian households were in the middle or upper wealth tiers, and slightly over a quarter of white households were in the upper tier, net worth over 500,000. In contrast, about 1 in 7 white families were millionaires as of 2017, according to the Washington Post. So they have more of an access to wealth, which does matter. So they're more economically secure. So the question would be, why would they be committing crime at the level that they commit crime? So when we talk about white on white crime, we got to put a lot of things in a perspective. They have all the wealth, but nonetheless, they're committing majority of crimes in America. Yes, white people are committing majority of crimes in America. Now, we already got proof. We on the FBI site. We focusing on grape right now because of the sexual degeneracy portion of this. But watch this. Watch this. Hold on one moment. All right. Look at this. Because you get this per capita argument. But watch this. According to the reports, Black Americans account for only 13.6 of the United States population, but comprise 53% of exoneration since 1989. Therefore, Black Americans are 7 times more likely to be falsely convicted of serious crimes than white Americans. The 3 types of crimes that result in the largest numbers of exonerations are murder, sexual assault, and drug crimes. So guess what? That kills your per capita argument. So what that shows us is we truly have a white on white crime epidemic. See, and I know this is hard to digest, but these are actual facts. We're going to exoneration federal pages. So don't let these people lie. Don't let these people make it seem like it's majority of Black people out here living degenerates and it's all this violence. Yes, every community has violence. Every community has crime. And I'm gonna make this clear. I'm against crime in our community. If we could police ourselves, I would love that, but it's illegal. They won't allow us to police ourselves. You know, if we can make it so we didn't have the crime that we have in our community, then we would do that. So, hey, you know, people think that I'm being salacious when I talk about white on white crime, and no. They have a lot of things in their community that they need to work out. They truly do. Which means Black people are 7.5 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted of murder than whites. Risk even greater if victim was white. Yeah, this is just the facts, man. This is just the facts. Now, we seen what this guy had to say.
Not femboy.
Now, for the record, in case you think they were trolling, the guy that had the bunny ears, I mean the cat ears on, no, he's a known sodomite. I mean, he has all kind of sodomite posts and all of that. So what was Nick doing with this guy? He told you that what he was into. He told you what he was into.
Connor MC Grow I sent $10. I miss your femboy era.
What's the femboy? I was never a femboy. It was the catboy era, okay? Not femboy. Let's get it straight. It was the catboy era. I miss it too. They bullied me out of it, you know? It was funny. And Vosh made up a bunch of nonsense about it.
Now, what's funny about that? Now, we wonder why you got this growth in Catholicism. For a conservative right-wing, perhaps even future president, what's funny about this? Somebody explain to me what's funny about it. But this is what these people do.
And then I had to capitulate for the sake of optics and say, no. We want to be trad and get married, and women are awesome. So, yeah, it was awesome, wasn't it?
Connor MC Grow I% $10.
He hates women. He hates women. Yeah, this is a sad, somebody say it's a sad state of Gentiles. This is what they on. This is what type of time that they really on. Hold on one moment. There's more. There's more, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I want to explain something about conservatism, right? Because the question of the broadcast, are they conservatives? Are they really conservatives? In most democracies, political conservatism seeks to uphold traditional family structures and social values. Religious conservatives typically oppose abortion, LGBT behavior, or in certain cases, identity, drug use, and sexual activity outside of marriage. In some cases, conservative values are grounded in religious beliefs, and conservative seeks to increase the role of religion in public life. Ladies and gentlemen, what we see in America right now with these Republicans, strong right, are they conservatives? Are they truly conservatives? The answer would be no. The real conservatives are the biblical Israelites who are keeping God's word. Bible believers and those of the faith, not just Israelites, but Gentiles alike who believe in Christ as the scriptures have written. Now, I'm going to show y'all something. Because they have their tokens just like the Democratic side has their tokens. See, what I'm trying to get y'all to see is that they're all the same. Two wings of the same bird. Once you can understand that it's all about white supremacy, upholding the values of the Greeks and the Romans, you can see the whole picture. And it's undeniable what you're dealing with. They all have their tokens. Caitlyn Jenner, a staunch Republican. He is a staunch Republican. Yeah, it's safe to say, Tristan, that they all are some Marxists because they all are against God. Let's go.
As good a job as the Democrats when it comes to all LGBT issues.
See, this is what you got to understand. This is how the system works. The left will push with something extreme like gay marriage. Well, at least it used to be considered something extreme. This is how it works, y'all. So they will push a little bit, right? And the Republicans will say, no, that ain't right. That ain't right. All right, well, okay, let's do it in certain states. And then the Republicans will say, okay, yeah, we can work, we can meet halfway. And every year, the Democrats will push for something that will be considered radical, right? And the Republicans will give a little bit of space, and then they'll meet halfway, all the way until they did what? All the way until they have incrementally desensitized the public into accepting the Babylonian ways, the ancient Roman ways. That's how it works. It's the same thing. And they have their tokens too. Let me see. That's right. Matthew 6:24. Jesus said one can't serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Facts. That's facts. But that's what they do. They serve two gods. But anyway, let's continue.
To convince the Republican Party to do a better job when it comes to all LGBT issues than it is to convince the Democrats to have less taxes and less regulations to let the economy thrive. Honestly, for the community, my own personal feeling is that I think it's good that I'm a Republican. You know, I'm kind of on the inside.
Now, he said he think it's good he's a Republican. He's kind of on the inside. I bet he is. I bet he is. But they busy trying to make it seem like everybody who is LGBTQ plus is on the left, which is not the case. That's a lie. He's glad he's on the right because he's on the inside. Why? Because he's affiliated with those on the right. He's having certain conversations. I'm telling you.
And 90% of the stuff that I do politically, you don't even know I'm doing it.
You hear that? 99% of the things he's doing politically, you don't even know he's doing it. So guess what? You have this transgender he was Olympic gold medalist. He's on the right side, pulling strings politically. But we want to act like only the left got LGBTQ. I'm telling you. Let me see. Somebody said, yep, somebody, look, and I don't know if you from MAGA or from the right, says, honestly, you taught me something I didn't even know he was on the right. Yep. Yep, it's a lot of them. A lot of them who are alternative are on the right too. A lot of them. Member for 10 months of the Chosen Ones. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for sharing the Cash App. Y'all can support the Cash App. Thank you.
Or do I want anybody to know I'm doing it? I love private meetings with powerful people to be able to sit down.
Wait, what? Private meetings with powerful people. Y'all hear this? Caitlyn Jenner is having private meetings with powerful people on the right. Now, what could they be discussing? What could they be discussing? What type of political conversation could they be discussing? Listen, I have my ideas. How they can incrementally fracture platonic and nuclear family. How they can keep campaigns that create gender confusion. And why do I say all of that? Because one thing I noticed, even in Trump's first his first time in office, it's something I noticed. I noticed that he would talk against the left, and he would talk about fake news, and he would talk about men playing in women's sports, and hormone pills and tax dollars going towards that. But something I noticed, though, even though he was in office as president, the same type of hidden messages was in our Disney movies, in our Nickelodeon films. He wasn't tough on certain people who got caught red-handed doing certain things. And even now, we got the Epstein files that he refuses to release. So I noticed something. They will politicize certain things that people can relate to on the right, but it seemed like the same agenda continued while he was in office. It never really changed. It never changed.
want anybody to know I'm doing it. I love private meetings with powerful people, to be able to sit down, and I guarantee you, they've never met anybody who's trans. They don't know anybody. They don't know that we're actually normal. We've had a lot of struggles in life, but the trans community is by far one of the most amazing group of people I've ever had the opportunity and the honor to be involved with.
The Trump administration recently
lowering taxes.
See, he want grown men to be in little girls' bathrooms. But he's a Republican. So essentially, what does it mean to be a Republican? Not a damn thing. Doesn't mean nothing.
Taxes, Obamacare, you got South Korea, you got all these, Israel, you got all these things that we're trying to build it. Why even deal with this issue? The bottom line is you can't take Trump out of it. He signed it.
With the decision to walk back protections, Trump
This man is a father of daughters. This man is a father of daughters who want other people, other men to be able to walk in little girls' bathrooms. Can't make this up. But he's a Republican.
Predicted his message on the campaign trail.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens.
What I would say to Donald Trump is,
hey, see, they politicians. He said he would do everything in his power to protect LGBTQ citizens. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what Trump said. But he's blaming the person who shot Charlie Kirk. He's saying that that's an extreme leftist, but the only evidence that we have to substantiate that is what? That he had a transgender roommate that he happened to be in a relationship with, according to them. According to them. Well, that's hypocrisy. That would be hypocrisy. It's a lot of hypocrisy here, y'all.
Be true to yourself. You said during the whole campaign, and actually I did talk to him during the campaign on the phone about trans issues and the entire LGBT community, and he was nothing but in support. He was great on the phone, and I complimented him. That to me was all very positive. So I thought, you know what? We might be okay here. We might be okay.
You hear that? So they had, listen, Caitlyn Jenner had conversations with Donald Trump. He had conversations, and he said the conversation went well. Like, oh, we might be okay. Because Trump had to explain how it works. Trump had to explain how the whole degeneracy in their people works. Now, there's more. There's more. Hold on one moment. Let's go back here. So all we do is bring out the facts, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to talk about their hypocrisies. Look, you got the LGBTs for Trump too. Yeah. Yeah, this is the reality of the situation. Perpetual Learner said, man, you ain't missed yet. Yeah, man, you know, but they like to hide this type of material because they already know I'm going to the actual data. Now, we talking about their hypocrisy, and that's every facet of their existence. We can find hypocrisy. Oh, yeah, we see it. Now, right now, first of all, let me play this, then we'll get to that.
The crime, you need to get... If you seriously believe the 13% of the population and 50% of the crime, you need to get fact-checked, and I'm about to do it to you. In 2016, white people committed 70% of the convicted crime, and black people only committed 27%. Then in 2017, white people committed 68% of the reported crime, and black people only committed 26% of it. And in 2024, white people committed 53% of the reported crime, while black people only committed 25%. So this narrative on 13% of the population, 50% of the crime is wrong. You know who actually commits 50% of the crime? White people. But guess what stat black people are 13% of the population and 50% in? Exonerations. You know, when they're wrongly convicted, all you're doing by spreading this fake fact is allowing more people to profile and be racist towards black people. You know what's the highest percentage of people who are victims of white people? Black people. And if you look at all the shootings, guess who are the shooters? White dudes. So let's all think long and hard on who actually commits 50% of the crime.
Hey, look, what the scriptures say? That these young men will grow up and say, surely our fathers have inherited lies. And they're going to start telling the truth. And they are. The awakening is real, man. There's an awakening going on. And a lot of suspected white supremacists, they don't like this awakening. And they really don't, man. But we just pointing out the hypocrisies. That's it. Just pointing out the hypocrisies. You got the LGBT for Trump. Look, is that Donald Trump holding the flag himself? So let me get this right? So yeah, out of the mouth of babes, right? The young one told him. Yeah, Floyd said MAGA hide in the night. Oh yeah. So why is Trump trying to target the left when it comes to this when he's holding his flag right here? What's happening here? I'm just pointing out the hypocrisies, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. I'm just pointing out the hypocrisies. Disseminating all the lies that they done told. It's a lot of lies, man. It's a whole lot of lies. Whole lot of lies. We gonna and then of course, as of late, they've been going on this whole campaign claiming people have been celebrating and making fun of and making light of the death of Charlie Kirk. I personally haven't seen anyone with any influence or any of that doing any of that. I haven't seen that. But look what they were doing when Trayvon Martin was killed. Look what was going on when Trayvon Martin was killed. He died with a pack of Skittles. Look at the games that were being played. Damn, why they go all the way back like that? Hold on. No, there's more. Hold on, there's more. Because I don't know if y'all remember the Trayvon challenge. I think I had. Oh, yeah, I got that. How many of y'all remember this? There was a whole era. There was a whole era where these people was putting a knee on the neck. And we know what this means when it comes to George Floyd. They had the George Floyd challenge. Oh, did we forget about all of this? Did we forget about all of this? Yeah, somebody said it. Satan's skirt is being lifted. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Yep. Yeah, we got to go there. We got to go there. Let's listen to the knowledge.
And so there's no evidence whatsoever, and yet people go around sloppily saying, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist. It is so destructive to our dialogue. It's destructive to us coming together as a country, and there's nothing to support it whatsoever.
It's called the white fragility prayer. This is a psychosocial model that I'm currently developing. It's characterizing a kind of predictive model of what you can expect a white person to articulate if they are found in proximity to racism. It goes, racism exists, but not here. And if it's here, it's not me. And if it was me, I didn't mean it. And if I meant it, it's not racist, or I'm not racist. That's just how it is. It's a way in which, no matter how close the racism might actually be in proximity to a person who might in fact be perpetuating racism in some harmful way, there's always an effort to distance oneself from it. I want to give you some examples of what the white fragility prayer looks like in action.
Segregation now, segregation tomorrow, and segregation forever.
The news media has played a person like myself up, who's been honest about race relations, has been a racist. I'm not a racist.
I'm sorry, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified.
Like we have been from Somalia and from the third world, all of a sudden they say diversity is a strength. Is it really? Is diversity a strength in Minneapolis? Is that really a strength? No. You know what is a strength? The unity we find in being an American, not in being Muslim or in being whatever faction or tribe that you come from. And yet people go around sloppily saying, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist. It is so destructive to our dialogue. It's destructive to us coming together as a country, and there's nothing to support it whatsoever.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people.
No, I'm not a racist. I am the least racist person you have ever interviewed.
The psychosocial model characterizes what are very clear, cut and paste textbook examples of racism that are unambiguously clear, and yet predictable responses would be attempts to insert any kind of barrier that allows them to distance themselves from racism, even when it's their own behavior. It's never who we are. It's never where we are. We're never willing to admit that, in fact, we are racist. The racism, it exists, but it's always out there somewhere. It's always someone else's problem. It's always just out of reach, and we're totally against racism, but the racism is never where we are.
Yep, and that's called the white fragility prayer. See, they have a whole ideology with how they spread racism. They can say the most racist things and say, hey, I'm not racist. Why? Based on a series of emotional cues and psychological cues that they use. Yeah, and this brother, he did his thing putting together that psychological model and being able to show examples of that throughout history. This is what they do. Right? This is what they do. And we need to understand that because, you know, you got a lot of suspected white supremacists that say a lot of things that are inflammatory. A lot of stereotypical rhetoric flying off the handle. But then they just turn around and say they're not racist. And people be like, oh, okay. Let your defenses down. Let your defenses down with these people. I'm telling you. Hold on. And it was another young cat that broke some stuff down that he was right on point. And you know, this is what we do, man. We go into some extra sources for everybody hanging around. And if you enjoying the show, make sure you hit the like button. All right. Hold on, what's this? All right. I don't know why it goes all the way back up to the top like that. All right. Hold on. What's this? Okay, I don't know if y'all heard that. I clicked the link, so sorry about that, y'all. We're gonna get to it. Yeah, man, this is what these people do. This is one particular video I was looking for. Hold on, is this Myron Gaines? Let me see.
Move different.
What's this?
Guys, I just
Okay, here we go. Let's play this because wait, man. My bad, y'all. It keeps starting over from the top. I don't know why it's doing that. It's this inbox is tweaking right now. It's looking for one particular video, but I don't see it. Okay, this is what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to just share another screen. All right.
And Biden campaigns are making a pitch to voters in the LGBTQ community, a group that, according to polls, overwhelmingly votes for Democrats. Just this month, former Vice President Joe Biden pledged to protect the transgender community, saying he'll change laws to eliminate discrimination. The Trump campaign is also reaching out to LGBTQ voters, but in return is facing scrutiny for the president's record.
So listen, President Trump is doing the same thing. This is what we got to understand. They're not conservatives, y'all. They're all the same. It's all a game that they're playing on the public. Trump and Biden were doing the same thing when it comes to alternatives. Same thing.
They call it Trump Pride, a handful of campaign events around the country for the president's LGBTQ supporters.
And people can say whatever they want to say, but I'm here because I support my father. He supports all of you, and we are here to fight for equality, democracy, to keep America and make it better. Yes, Trump Pride.
The president's daughter, Tiffany Trump, recently headlined this event.
Trump Pride, y'all.
Event in Tampa, where critics observed the acronym in her speech was missing the letter T, which stands for transgender.
He supported gays, lesbians, the LGBTQIA plus community.
How many of y'all knew that Trump supported, by show of ones, how many of y'all knew? I don't think it's too many ones going to show up in this, but by show of ones, how many of y'all knew that Trump supported the LGBTQ plus? There ain't too many ones in there, but I don't think too many people knew that. By show of ones, how many? By show of twos, how many of y'all did not know? Make sure y'all participating. By show of twos, y'all didn't know that the Republicans was supporting the same thing the Democrats was supporting. They were in support of this.
Okay.
Trump Pride's co-chair is Richard Grenell, who briefly served as acting director of national intelligence, the first openly gay person named to a cabinet-level position.
President Trump is the most pro-gay president in American history.
But some LGBTQ rights groups like
the most pro-gay president in American history?
GLAAD see it quite differently.
What's your reaction when you hear those words, Trump Pride?
I feel that this is another one of those false narratives that's being created, more disinformation being put out there, that he has been a good president for the LGBTQ community. He has been the exact opposite.
GLAAD created the Trump Accountability Project, listing what it calls 181 attacks on the LGBTQ community. Since taking office, the president has rolled back many protections for transgender people and banned them from serving in the military. While in court, his administration has filed numerous briefs arguing discrimination laws should not protect people based on sexual orientation and gender identity.
You know, the proof is in the actions. The proof is in his record. There is no record. What there is an anti-LGBTQ record. I wish it were different, but it hasn't been. And it's been a really trying 4 years for our community.
Earlier this year, a Morning Consult poll found among LGBTQ voters nationwide, former Vice President Joe Biden led President Trump 63 to 20%.
I think it's automatically assumed that if you're gay, you're going to vote for a Democrat. And that's simply not the case.
Paul Ramirez.
You hear that? It's assumed that if you are gay, you go for Democrat. This guy with the MAGA hat on said that's just simply not the case. Why? Because more than likely he's of the alternative. And that's what happens. This is what they got going on, man. But we want to act like it's just the left. No, it's the whole system. And we're pointing out the hypocrisy. We're pointing it out. There's no conservatism here. They're not governed by biblical law. They're not governed by God. MAGA is not the answer. Turning to the scriptures is the answer. Turning to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is the answer, not MAGA.
Republican who lives in California is part of that 20%. He's a Trump supporter.
And look, cowboy hat on, beard and everything. Flaming homosexual. There's a whole lot of flaming undercover homosexuals that are part of MAGA. A whole lot of them. Don't let them try to make it seem like it's only the left. No, it's the whole system.
I've gone through the fight. I don't think we have any more villains out there. The fight for equality is pretty much over. We should be looking at issues that affect our lives in real time. The economy, jobs, travel, safety internationally.
But organizations like GLAAD argue the fight for equality is far from over.
Marriage equality is not safe. And if we think it's safe, it's 5 years old, marriage equality. And in this past opening of the Supreme Court session, Thomas and Alito referenced it and said that they are open to hearing defenses to take it down. In addition to that, yes, our trans brothers and sisters are literally under attack, especially by this current administration.
White House spokesman Judd Deere said it was untrue LGBT Americans were threatened under the Trump administration, said the president had included LGBT Americans at the highest levels of government, launched a global campaign.
At the highest levels of government. He had them at the highest levels of government. He had conversations with Caitlyn Jenner. Yes, they're not conservatives.
To decriminalize homosexuality and committed to ending HIV transmissions in the U.S.
He wanted to decriminalize homosexuality and find a way where he can end AIDS so they can keep on doing the sick things that they're doing behind closed doors. And yes, I'm calling it sick because the Bible calls it sick. Now, I'm not condemning the people who are alternative, but what I am saying is the scriptures say that you should repent from that lifestyle. Live a lifestyle that seeks of repentance. Why? Because plagues come with that. Diseases come with that. That's why Trump was trying to figure out a way to end those diseases so people can carry on like it's normal.
Within 10 years.
So when you see Tiffany Trump, Eric Trump, Laura Trump come out and say he's a pro-gay president, we support the LGBTQ community, what's going on here? Why are they saying that?
The LGBTQ voting bloc and our allies are critical to this election. We can make the difference from a voting bloc in this election.
Hey, NBC News viewers, thanks for checking out our YouTube.
But we thinking that these people are somehow different. No. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the Bible speaks what it speaks, and we got to look out for the hypocrisy. Matthew 15:7 says, ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying, the people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. They talk like they for Jesus Christ. They talk like they're for God. And God bless America. And, you know, they go to church. They show a form of godliness. But the Bible says their hearts is far from them. Matthew 23:27. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you are like unto whited sculptures, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones and full of uncleanliness. Even so, ye are also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisies and iniquities. So these people touting themselves as some type of moral authority while hiding the fact that they work for the machine, that they're part of the beast system. They're full of dead man's bones. Even if they rocking MAGA hats, even if they touting American flags. That's the new hiding grounds for these type of people, for sexual deviants and degenerates. The new hiding ground for them is MAGA. Just like you had, because look, you got a few facets here. You got the Southern White Baptist Christian Church. We know a lot of them are sadists. A lot of them are sadists who are suspected white supremacists. And I'm not trying to get into the vein of generalization. Let me be clear about this. I don't want to be generalizing everybody. But from what we have seen as of late with some of these Southern Baptist white Christians, they seem to be nationalists, because in one breath they screaming Jesus Christ, and then in the next breath they in the streets marching white man fight back. Against whom, I don't know. Then a few days later we see them form their lynch mobs. So to me, they look like sadists. Matthew 6:2. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound a trumpet before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. Oh, they claim God in the public. They blow their trumpets. They appear patriotic. They say that they're about platonic nuclear family. They say all these things. They act like they're trying to save the country and save America. But no, these so-called conservatives, these right-wing MAGA people, they just like those on the left. Now, y'all know me when it comes to I'm against the whole system. Left, right, don't care. We sitting there watching a real civil war between them. They having all this political violence and all of this stuff. We're just sitting back watching it because we know that their kingdom has to fall, and the house divided can't stand. House divided can't stand. Matthew 7:5, thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote of thy brother's eye. They can't talk about Democrats are doing this if they doing the same thing. Luke 12:1, beware ye of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. Listen, America is waxing fat off the leaven of the Pharisee, which is hypocrisy. Everything is hypocritical. James 3:17. But the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, and easy to be entreated, full of mercy and good fruits, without partiality and without hypocrisy. You only can find the truth one place, and that's from up above, from the Most High. Let every man be a liar. Let the Almighty be true. Let his word be true. Before you start picking these political organizations and these different fractions and these groups, and you fall for the whole divide and conquer mechanism that's going on in the world right now, where people are losing jobs, households are being divided, families are falling apart. Ladies and gentlemen, choose your peace and choose the word. Choose the scriptures, because all in this world, all you're going to find is hypocrisy. From the right and for the left. Somebody said Democrats and Republicans use illegal immigrants against FBA. Somebody else says they accuse you of what they are doing. Right. Yep. And I just thought I'd come through with this broadcast. We went in for about an hour and 40. Think that's pretty good time. You know, peace and blessings to everybody. If you learn something, make sure you share this material everywhere. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Yeah, we're gonna get back to the long form content. Every now and again, we'll do that vertical streaming, but it kills the algorithm for real streaming, because that vertical stream stuff, them views are fake. You see these people doing them vertical streams, getting 500,000 views, and all that stuff is not real, bro. You got to do a real stream. You have to do real streaming. Stuff is not real. I mean, it does reach new people, but it also reaches a lot of bots. See, I'm uncovering it. I'm just breaking it down to you. It's about how many people you can get watching when you're doing a horizontal stream. If I wanted to, I can literally vertical stream all day. I can get 1 million subscribers in 2 months. Easy. But guess what? I will have a platform full of bots, and I'm not doing it. Just not doing it. I want to keep it grassroots. I want to stick with the people, and every now and again I'll reach a new audience. But I rather grind the slow way. I rather grind it on out the slow way, and let the influence be authentic. Let everything be true. What's being put across. Yeah, I don't do all the bot thing. I could do that if I wanted to, literally all day if I wanted to. It's easy. Doesn't mean your content's good. When you're in a shorts feed, people just get to see the video. That's it. That's all it means. Doesn't mean that people actually are engaging with your material. See, I blow the lid off of this stuff. I blow the lid off of that because you know these people get puffed up. And it's vanity. It's nothing but vanity. Now, of course, I would do verticals every now and again, because you want to, it's certain topics. I'm gonna go see what Dirty MAGA. Sometimes honestly, I like to piss Dirty MAGA off, so I'll go over there and just troll them. I really have fun with it. But that's not who I do this for. I do this for those who are legitimate. Yep. But man, one love to y'all. We got so much more that we got to discuss on this platform. Man, it's just an honor and a blessing building with y'all. And more coming, y'all. More coming. Y'all be blessed out there. Hey, listen, if y'all want to sponsor the show, though, because this stream right here has pretty low views so far. I don't know. So if you want to support the broadcast, though, y'all hit the brothers Cash up. Hit the Cash app up. Sponsor the show. I don't ask for much. I never really even asked y'all to really do it, but when y'all see my views not looking, hey, bro, we appreciate you, bro. We appreciate the work you put out. So there go the Cash App. The QR code does work. If you don't feel like scanning the QR code, the Cash App is Nubreed Global Truth 77, and it's highly appreciated when you support. If you want to support and get something in return, scan this QR code right here. It leads to the website, nubreedglobaltruth.com. If you like this cap right here, make the truth great again, then make your way over there and pretty much copy one of these, man. Let's make the truth great again. So, look, one love to y'all.